The death toll from Hurricane Milton rose to at least 10 on Thursday as Florida continued to assess the damage from the Category 3 storm that caused extensive property damage across the state and left more than 3.5 homes and businesses without power. 5 fatalities were in a senior community in St Lucie County that was struck by a tornado formed in Milton's outer bands, authorities there said. The tornado happened before the hurricane made landfall near Sarasota on Florida's western coast on Wednesday evening. The Volusia County Sheriff, Michael Chitwood, said 3 people died in his county, and police in St. Petersburg confirmed 2 storm-related deaths there. Parts of Sarasota, Fort Myers, Venice and other Gulf Coast cities were inundated by up to 10 feet, 3 meters, of storm surge while tornadoes wrecked buildings, including a sheriff's department facility. The skies turned purple and winds as high as 120 miles per hour, 193 kilometers per hour, turned cars, trees and debris into projectiles. Our hearts break for the Floridians who have lost so much, Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, said in an afternoon briefing from the White House. Rescue operations were still underway into Thursday afternoon, the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, said at a press briefing. In Tampa, 135 people were rescued from an assisted living facility. The city's police department also released video of officers rescuing multiple children from a house that was partially destroyed by a fallen tree. Joe Biden addressed the disaster from Washington, D.C., telling reporters he had spoken to DeSantis and local officials and promised his administration would ensure they have everything they need to respond to the disaster. This is a whole-of-government effort, the U.S. president said, naming multiple departments and promising that the Federal Emergency Management Agency would open disaster recovery centers in impacted areas right away. Biden praised efforts of U.S. Coast Guard personnel and urban search and rescue teams, and local officials whose early evacuation orders allowed hundreds of thousands of people to escape the path of the storm, and tens of thousands more to ride out the storm in emergency shelters. It's too early to know the full account of the damage, but we know life-saving measures did make a difference. More than 80,000 people followed orders to safely shelter last night, he said.
From the overnight hours and well into Thursday after Milton pummeled the Gulf Coast, teams navigating high floodwaters to help people onto rescue boats, getting them out of hurricane-ravaged homes and to safety.
But I'm just glad we're out and to safety and to where we can charge up our phones because I don't have any power because of my family is probably wondering where I'm at.
In Clearwater, a Pinellas County Sheriff's vehicle takes previously stranded residents through the high water that inundated the coastal town streets. A sheriff's office rescue boat takes a family with a small child from their flooded home to dry land. A woman spotted on her balcony, unable to access the lower floor of her flooded apartment building. Rescuers wade through chest-high water to get to her and her.
DeSantis said forecasters' worst fears of a storm surge up to 15 feet in the densely populated cities of Tampa and St. Petersburg had not been realized. The worst-hit county, Sarasota, he said, saw an 8 to 10 foot wall of seawater from the Gulf of Mexico. Thankfully, it was not the worst-case scenario. The storm did weaken before landfall, and the storm surge has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene, he said, referring to the Category 4 storm that struck Florida 12 days previously, and which caused at least 232 deaths in 6 states. We will better understand the extent of the damage as the day progresses, the governor added. State crews, he said, rescued 108 individuals and 18 animals. Milton made landfall on Siesta Key south of St. Petersburg around 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. 8 hours later it moved offshore just north of Cape Canaveral as a Category 1 hurricane with winds of 85 miles per hour, according to the National Hurricane Center, NHC. By mid-afternoon Thursday, the NHC downgraded a fast-weakening Milton to a post-tropical cyclone as it moved further away from Florida in the Atlantic, but warned there were still significant ongoing hazards. We still have on the backside of Milton strong winds, heavy rainfall and storm surge affecting portions of the east coast of Florida, with tropical storm conditions and storm surge affecting the Georgia coast, and even some strong winds up into the South Carolina coast, Michael Brennan, the NHC director, said in a video briefing. Floridians awoke on Thursday to scenes of devastation in a number of counties. A crane collapsed in downtown St. Petersburg, leaving a gash in an office building, blocking a street. The water supply was cut.